Paintings often look straightforward until you look a bit closer. You see a portrait, a landscape, a scene from history, and you think you've got it. But the truth is, artists have always loved playing games with us. They slip in puzzles, hidden jokes, secret symbols, and even codes into their works. And once you spot them, you realize these masterpieces aren't as simple as they seem. In this video, you'll discover 10 paintings that hide secrets you probably never noticed. And trust me, at the end of this video, you'll never look at them the same way again. At first glance, The Ambassadors by Hans Holbein the Younger looks like a grand double portrait. It depicts two wealthy men surrounded by symbols of knowledge and power. But there's something strange on the floor, a blurred, stretched object. If you look at it head on, it makes no sense whatsoever. But step to the side and suddenly it transforms into a skull. It's one of the earliest and at the same time most famous examples of anamorphosis. Holbein wanted us to remember, even in wealth and learning, death is always present. This famous scene is titled the Arnolfini Portrait by Jan van Eyck, and it initially looks like a commemorative portrait for an upcoming wedding. A wealthy couple, standing in their home in medieval Bruges, is surrounded by luxurious detail and a mysterious mirror that reflects two figures. But the real secret can probably be found in the chandelier just above their heads. Zoom in and you'll see that one candle is lit while the other has gone out. Recent research has uncovered that the man was likely Giovanni Arnolfini, depicted together with his first wife, Costanza Trenta. The plot thickens when historians learn that Costanza died in February of 1433, probably while giving birth to the couple's child. If this theory is correct, this painting, which was painted over a year later, was likely commissioned as a memorial painting for the man's deceased wife. Hieronymus Bosch's triptych titled The Garden of Earthly Delights is definitely one of the strangest paintings in history. In the panel of hell, one very specific detail emphasizes this notion perfectly. On the backside of one of the sinners, Bosch painted a sheet of music. Yes, these are actual musical notes on the buttocks of one of the tortured souls in hell. Musicologists have even transcribed it and played the tune. Some call it the butt music from hell. You can find a link to what it sounds like in the description of this video. Bosch had a wicked sense of humor, even in damnation. We all know this iconic painting that is part of the enormous fresco that covers the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. God stretches out his hand to spark life into Adam. But scientists notice something remarkable in the painting. The shape around God and the angels actually matches a human brain. Every fold and curve was accurately depicted by Michelangelo, who spent 4 years completing this back-breaking endeavor. Was Michelangelo secretly suggesting that God's true gift to humanity was intelligence? If so, that was quite an interesting detail to add to a painting in a holy chapel, don't you think? The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci is a painting loaded with symbolism, but one mystery stands out. It actually has nothing to do with the hidden messages in the composition, but rather with the entire fresco itself. Leonardo da Vinci was somewhat of a geek who loved to experiment, but this didn't always work out as he intended. He took it to another level when he started painting the Last Supper using tempera on an undercoat of white lead. This wasn't the best idea he ever had, because after just a few years, the paint started flaking. Halfway through the 16th century, the figures were already blurry and unrecognizable. Da Vinci's Last Supper was restored numerous times over the centuries. Although the composition remained the same, not a patch of paint you see today was by the hand of Leonardo himself. Peter Bruegel the Elder loved cramming detail into his works. This is especially highlighted in his extraordinary painting titled Netherlandish Proverbs. In this single painting, he depicted more than 100 proverbs, many of which are still used today, nearly 500 years later. Banging your head against a brick wall, armed to the teeth, the blind leading the blind, swimming against the stream. These were already used in Bruegel's time and are still relevant today. It's a chaotic village scene, but every character is acting out a saying. It's like a late medieval version of a hidden object puzzle, which is quite fascinating. At first, this painting titled Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez looks like a charming royal portrait. The Infanta Margarita is surrounded by maids, a dwarf, and even a dog as she presumably gets ready to be painted. But then you notice Velázquez himself, painting on the left. And even stranger, in the mirror at the back, you see the girl's parents, King Philip IV of Spain and his wife, Queen Mariana of Austria. Their reflection is an unsolved mystery that dominates the painting. Who is Velázquez painting? Are the king and queen even in the room? And why do several court members stare directly at us, the viewers? Art historians haven't quite figured it out yet. On my channel, you can find a video in which I go over 3 clues that might hint at what the painting is about. There's a link in the description of this video. This terrifying image, known as Saturn Devouring His Son, was painted on the wall of Francisco Goya's own house. It's titled as such because it's usually described as Saturn eating his child to avoid being overthrown. But some scholars say it may not be Saturn at all. Instead, it might be Goya's metaphor for Spain, a nation consuming its own people during years of violence in the early 19th century. If that's true, it's not just mythology, it's hidden political rage disguised as a monster. This polite English portrait, titled Mr. and Mrs. Andrews by Thomas Gainsborough, has a remarkable hidden element you barely notice initially. Mr. Andrews stands proudly by his land while his wife sits nearby. But look closely at her lap. There's an empty space in her dress. Some believe it was meant for a pet bird, or maybe even a child, painted later. But Gainsborough never filled it in. The result is fascinating, and since there is no mention of what he intended to paint there, it will likely remain a mystery indefinitely. I'll conclude this list with Vincent van Gogh's masterpiece, The Starry Night, which looks like pure imagination at first. Vincent didn't care about this work because he felt like he had taken too many liberties. But scientists discovered something remarkable multiple decades later. The swirls in the sky match patterns of turbulence found in fluid dynamics. Van Gogh, without any training in physics, captured mathematical chaos on canvas. It's a hidden link between art and science. He unwittingly painted cosmic order and disorder, long before scientists could explain them.